Hello and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I am Nkechi Tejere. Here are our top stories. Tinubu to declare 2025 Editors Annual Conference open in Abuja. Ishekiri leaders accuse Ogbijo monarch of illegal encroachment, fueling worry crisis. Fubara attends first church service after suspension, calls for peace and prayers. Ghost refineries, $3 billion wasted as PH worry Kaduna plans rot. UK, Australia, Canada break ranks, recognize Palestinian state. From Finidi to Simen will bring you Nigerians who made Ballon d'Or history. Now to the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will on November 3rd officially declare open the 2025 All Nigeria Editors Conference, organized by the Nigerian Guild of Editors. The four-day event will hold at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. According to a statement by NGE President Eze Anaba and Secretary Onoha Uke, the conference will feature keynote addresses and panel sessions on topics including election disputes, judiciary integrity, economic reforms, and the evolving face of journalism in the era of AI and misinformation. Also expected are papers on media and national security, as well as post-retirement opportunities for editors. The Guild said the gathering comes at a crucial time when Nigeria faces socio-economic challenges and increasing trust deficits, stressing the need for unity in diversity, inclusion, dialogue, and accountability. The opening ceremony will be attended by President Tinubu, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, Minister of Information Mohammed Idris, governors, opposition leaders, and members of the diplomatic community. The 2025 All Nigeria Editors Conference will run from the 3rd of November to the 6th in Abuja, marking the second time in 12 years the FCT will host the country's biggest media leadership event. This year's conference, themed Democratic Governance and National Cohesion, the role of editors, will gather over 500 media professionals, political leaders, diplomats, and private sector players to discuss electoral integrity, media responsibility, and national unity ahead of the 2027 general elections. National Publicity Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, Bolaji Abdullahi, has slammed President Bola Tinubu's administration, claiming it lacks clear direction and is worsening the hardship of Nigerians. Abdullahi defended the legitimacy of the ADC's new leadership, insisting that INEC monitored and recognized its 99th NEC meeting. He criticized those challenging the leadership in court, describing them as a tiny minority with no legal grounds. He also fired back at critics, particularly former presidential candidate Dr. Kachuku, accusing him of promoting divisive rhetoric and age profiling. Abdullahi argued that recycled politicians exist in every party and that democracy cannot exclude older politicians. On the broader state of governance, Abdullahi said the Tinubu administration has failed to articulate a clear vision for Nigerians, insisting that opposition parties must remain strong to protect democracy ahead of the 2027 elections. The ADC spokesman vowed that despite attempts at destabilization, the party remains focused on restructuring, expanding its base, and positioning itself as a credible alternative in 2027. In an exclusive interview, Abdullahi also addressed the leadership tussle within the ADC, dismissing rumors of a court order against its NEC decision as government-backed disinformation aimed at destabilizing the opposition and dragging the country towards a one-party state. In Delta State, the Shekiri Nation have accused the Ama Okosu of Ogbijo Mombene III of deliberate encroachment and fueling fresh unrest in Warri. They allege that the unlawful claims over Warri's South local government area are destabilizing peace and threatening lives. The statement further revealed that the Ama Okosu had previously lost a legal battle in suit number W147-2020, with the court affirming his authority does not extend beyond Warri Southwest. Despite appealing the ruling, with hearing scheduled for September 30th, the Shekiri leaders say the monarch continues to act in defiance of the law. They also accused certain government functionaries of backing his claims, likening such support to treason. Among their demands are removal of all Ogbejo billboards in Warri South, a judicial panel of inquiry into illegal land occupation in Warri GRA, and investigations into alleged involvement of Tantita Security Services in the crisis. According to them, at least 5 lives have been lost and Warri's commercial activities severely disrupted. The Shekiri Nation insists it stands by the law, urging the Delta State government and security agencies to restore peace and call the Ama Okosu to order before the crisis escalates further. The leaders, in a statement issued at the Palace of the Olu of Warri, condemned the monarch for erecting billboards and asserting authority over territories outside his recognized domain, despite multiple court rulings against him. They insist his actions have triggered violence, including the killing of vigilante leader Dede Ogunbayo during a September 18th attack in Pesu community. You're watching our daily news roundup right here on Atlantic TV. We'll go for a short break. On the other side, more news stories to come.
All right, my name is Des Soka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor AD.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Nanja Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Welcome back. And now in Rivers State, the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has called on the church and citizens to remain steadfast in prayers as he resumes governance following the end of the 6-month emergency rule. Governor Fubara, joined by his wife, Lady Valerie, and top government officials, said prayers had been the bedrock of his strength and would remain crucial in fulfilling his mandate. He likened prayers to bank deposits whose dividends manifest in due season, thanking Opobo people for years of fasting and intercession. Fubara also underscored the importance of peace, describing it as the greatest gift for unity, development, and good health. Special prayers were offered by Venerable Emmanuel Nwuju for the governor, his family, the administration, and the peace of Rivers State. The service, themed Harvest of Divine Possibilities, was attended by stakeholders including Chief of Staff Dr. Edison Ehie, Council Chairman Barrister James A. James, and other dignitaries. Governor Fubara reaffirmed his dedication to serving Rivers people, urging continued prayers and support as he charts a renewed course for the state. The governor made the appeal on Sunday at St. Paul's Anglican Church, Opobo Town, during a Thanksgiving service, his first public outing since returning to office. The South-North Progressive Forum, SNPF, has launched a nationwide campaign calling for presidential power to remain in the South beyond 2027. Oyekwusili revealed that the forum has built grassroots structures in more than 30,000 communities and is targeting at least 10 million votes for a Southern candidate in 2027. He stressed that the SNPF's philosophy of rightful defection prioritizes competence and credibility over party loyalty. The forum pledged to support a Northern candidate in 2031, describing it as part of its commitment to unity and inclusion. Beyond zoning, the group is also pushing for legislative reforms to grant the FCT full state status, with a governor, 3 senatorial districts, and increased federal allocations. The SNPF also urged political parties, especially the ADC, to adopt zoning arrangements that reflect equity. With campaigns for 2027 already heating up, the SNPF's intervention adds fresh momentum to Nigeria's long-running debate on power rotation. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, Chairman Festus Onyekusilisi argued that keeping power in the South will promote fairness, equity, and national cohesion, noting that the North has already held the presidency for 24 years compared to the South's 18. Despite over $3 billion spent on rehabilitation, Nigeria's state-owned refineries in Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna remain idle. Investigations reveal that workers resumed to empty facilities with no production, raising fresh concerns over systemic failure and mismanagement. In Port Harcourt, Sunday news findings showed that the once busy depot is now deserted. Truck parks lie empty, while other diesel from old stock is being lifted. Marketers say the refinery is not working despite public claims of resumption last year. Some accuse management of shielding major marketers while independent dealers are left stranded. At Warri and Kaduna, the story is still the same: silent plants, idle workers, and no fuel output. The $3 billion investment, initially hailed as a breakthrough, has instead become a symbol of waste and neglect. Industry analysts warn that Nigeria's continued reliance on fuel imports, despite its oil wealth, fuels corruption, worsens economic hardship, and raises questions about accountability. With billions spent and little to show, Nigerians are left asking, will the dream of functional state-owned refineries ever become a reality, or will the ghost facilities remain monuments of failure? The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has already quizzed sacked NNPCL officials over alleged fund mismanagement. Stakeholders accuse government of deceiving Nigerians with false promises, as refineries once projected to run at 70% capacity now stand abandoned. Nigeria earned $2.21 billion from crude oil exports to the United States between January and July 2025, according to new data from the U.S. Census Bureau and Bureau of Economic Analysis. Data shows that Nigeria shipped 28.7 million barrels of crude in the seven-month period, well ahead of Libya, Angola, and Ghana. The customs value of the shipment stood at $2.16 billion, rising to $2.21 billion on a cost, insurance, and freight basis. But the report highlights volatility. June saw nearly 7 million barrels exported, valued at $496 million, one of the year's strongest months. By contrast, July shipments slumped to 4.4 million barrels, worth just $336 million. Overall, Nigeria still accounted for more than half of Africa's crude exports to the U.S., which totaled $3.82 billion. Analysts warn that the sharp year-on-year decline underscores Nigeria's vulnerability to global oil price swings at a time when the country is battling to stabilize its foreign exchange reserves and boost revenue. Despite remaining the U.S. top African crude supplier, Nigeria faces growing concerns over declining earnings, fluctuating exports, and the long-term sustainability of its oil-dependent economy. The figure confirms Nigeria as America's largest African crude supplier, but earnings fell sharply compared to last year, with an 8.8% drop in shipment volumes and a 22% decline in value. Nigeria's crude oil production slipped below its OPEC quota in August, according to the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC. In a statement, NUPRC confirmed that Nigeria pumped an average of 1.43 million barrels per day in August, down from 1,507 MPPD in July. This represents a loss of about 66,000 barrels per day, bringing production to 96% of its OPEC target. Daily condensate production also dipped, sliding from 220,435 barrels per day in July to 197,229 barrels per day in August. Despite the drop, the Commission highlighted Nigeria's capacity to consistently meet near-target production, pointing to terminal outputs. Focados led with 8.99 million barrels. Bonny followed with 6.26 million barrels. Hugh Ibo recorded 4.99 million barrels. Escravos contributed 4.18 million barrels. NUPRC noted, however, that combined crude and condensate production still averaged 1.67 mbpd in August 2025, an improvement compared to the 1.58 mbpd recorded last year. While Nigeria narrowly missed its August target, the Commission assured stakeholders that production remains stable, with a strong outlook for meeting OPEC commitments in the coming months. The regulator blamed the shortfall on a single day of unscheduled maintenance at an oil facility, which dragged output below the 1.5 million barrels per day quota. You're watching our Daily News Roundup. We'll go for yet another short break. When we return, more stories on the international scene and the sports scene. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now on the foreign scene. In a historic foreign policy shift, Britain, Australia, and Canada on Sunday formally recognized the state of Palestine, becoming the first G7 countries to do so. The move has triggered swift Israeli anger, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing to oppose it at the United Nations. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer declared on X that recognition was aimed at giving Palestinians and Israelis a fresh chance at peace. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney echoed the sentiment, saying his government was committed to supporting a peaceful future for both states. But Israel has pushed back, insisting recognition rewards terrorism. Netanyahu warned that calls for Palestinian statehood threaten Israel's existence. The war in Gaza, now nearly 2 years old, has devastated the enclave, leaving over 65,000 dead, according to UN-verified figures, and sparking widespread humanitarian concerns. 3/4 of UN member states already recognize Palestine, but this latest move marks the first time powerful Western allies have shifted position, a decision likely to dominate talks at the UN General Assembly in New York this week. With public opinion swinging across Europe and beyond, and thousands rallying monthly for Palestine, recognition by the UK, Canada, and Australia signals a turning point, one that could reshape global diplomacy on the Middle East conflict. Portugal also confirmed it would announce recognition later the same day as international pressure mounts on Israel over its ongoing Gaza offensive. The UK government said the decision was taken to revive hope for peace and secure a two-state solution. Away from that, now to the sports news. The Ballon d'Or, football's most prestigious individual prize, has long been dominated by Europeans and South Americans. But over the years, a few Nigerians have broken through, earning nominations and carving their names into football history. This year, the 2025 Ballon d'Or shortlist includes two Nigerians, Chiamaka Nnadozie, nominated for the Women's Yashin Trophy as the first African goalkeeper ever in the category. Justin Madugu, head coach of the Super Falcons, shortlisted for the Johan Crofts Trophy after guiding Nigeria to WAFCON glory. Past trailblazers include Finidi George, who finished 21st in 1995, Daniel Amokachi, nominated the same year, and J.J. Okocha, whose creativity put Nigeria on the map. The 69th Ballon d'Or ceremony holds on Monday, September 22nd at the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris, and Nigerians will once again be watching with pride. From legends of the 1990s to today's rising stars, Nigeria's football journey at the Ballon d'Or continues to inspire a new generation. From Finidi George's Champions League winning season with Ajax in 1995 to Austin J.J. Okocha's flair, Daniel Amokachi's Everton exploits, and now Victor Osimhen and Asisa Toshola's leading the new generation, Nigeria has produced players who have stood tall on the world stage. Atletico Madrid's rocky start to the La Liga season continued on Sunday as they were held to a 1-1 draw away at Mallorca. Striker Julian Alvarez missed a penalty, and Alexander Soriot saw red before Diego Simeone's men were pegged back late on. Atletico began brightly with Pablo Barrios striking the post and Mallorca goalkeeper Leo Roman denying Alvarez twice, including from the penalty spot after Antonio Ralio handled in the box. The Rojiblancos' night got harder when Alexander Solot was sent off for a reckless challenge, but Galaga's rebound strike gave them hope of victory. That hope was short-lived as Maric's powerful header leveled the game before Jan Oblak had to save Atletico at the death from Pablo Torres' curling effort. The draw capped off a frustrating week for Simeone's men, who had also suffered a dramatic Champions League defeat at Liverpool just days earlier. Atletico's winless struggles raise fresh questions ahead of their next league outing, with pressure mounting on Simeone to steady the Rojiblancos' season. Conor Gallagher also gave Atletico the lead in the 77th minute, but Fadet Maric's 85th minute header rescued a point for Mallorca. The result leaves Atletico sitting 12th in the table with just one win from their opening 5 matches. And with that sport news, we come to the end of our daily news roundup for today, right here on Atlantic TV. Do also follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejere. Have a pleasant day.